Alrighty, guys, what is up? Welcome to another series with Lone Debater 7, and today we are going to be taking a look at No Man's Sky in 2021. So yes, this game has been out for a while, but it has been updated and has received quite a few major updates recently. So I played through this game before they started all of the Atlas expansion. Basically, I played this game before any of the major updates came out. So it should be completely fresh for me, so I'm quite excited about it. We're going to play on survival mode because it's a little bit more challenging than normal mode, meaning that there's more hazards to deal with, you have a smaller inventory starting out, and you have increased costs of gear and other materials and stuff like that. So should be fun. Let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to go ahead and load this and see. Hopefully my computer doesn't die on me. So I am going to try to do this series live stream over on Twitch as well as best as I can. And if I get that set up and working, then I will live stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time for this series progression as opposed to just doing YouTube videos for it. However, I want to test this out. This game, although it is a little bit older, still is a bit taxing on my current computer. So I don't want to sacrifice quality of the, video or quality of the video and the content and stuff to drop as a result of not, of trying to run a stream as opposed to just recording a video. You know what I'm saying? So I can utilize more of my GPU and my CPU processing capability on running the game this way, as opposed to having to divide it between running the game and running the stream. So it should come out a little bit better quality, hopefully. That's the idea anyway. Not a big deal. I believe I went through and optimized the visuals to what I think is going to work pretty good. So we'll see. Most of the stuff is on. So I have reflections turned down to low or standard, whatever the lowest one is. And stuff like that. We can take a look. Let me know in the comments if you want to see my video settings and stuff like that. And we can do all that noise. But okay, we are in. Cold planet, cool. Awesome. Oh, look at this little dude. No analysis visor installed. Okay. I know we're going to need ferrite. We're going to need carbon. Scanner's damaged. I need ferrite for that. Okay. Let's get the ferrite and fix the scanner, just so we have a reliable way to identify sodium. Because that's going to become relevant real quick. There's a sodium. We'll go grab some sodium before we freeze to death. Yeah. Right up here. Come on. Oh, that's not sodium. Shit. It's also kind of difficult because of that cold damage effect. Yeah, we're probably going to die here. Maybe over here? Yeah, that looks like it might be. Yes, it is. Can we get there in time? I don't know. Gonna be close. Boom. Okay. We almost died. We saved our lives. How clutch is that? Okay, let's find some more sodium, which it looks like there's one over here. And then we can top off our hazard protection again. We also should be on the lookout for oxygen to restore our life support system. And there's a plant right there, which is hazardous fauna, but if we shoot this with our mining beam, it'll give us oxygen, and we can use that to recharge our life support systems. Oxygen's useful for other stuff, but starting out, especially in survival mode, it's going to be used to stay alive. But should be fun. So kind of the idea with this series is we're just going to progress through the survival mode. And we're coming in, so it's November 2021, so Expedition 4 is live. And I do plan on making, I might live stream through that expedition just because those are a little bit more self-contained than like a full playthrough can be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think it's worth separating it because they are technically different. Um, Ultimately, I may end up deleting the expedition save file to make space for the next expedition when it comes out, because that's like the season mechanic for No Man's Sky. If you're new to the game, the expeditions, they change every so often, and yeah, when there's a new one that comes out, it can be pretty fun. They're challenging. They generally implement a bunch of new stuff, new content that's only unlockable if you play through. So those blue flowers, if you're new as well, they give you unlimited jetpack boost. So that's why I grabbed that before flying over here, because I wanted to do that. I think we can fix our scanner. Yes, we sure can. We got the ferrite we needed. Yeah. Step 1 done. We now have a scanny boy. Look at us. So fancy. Sodium over here. And there's a hazardous plant right here. We'll grab. Pick up a bit more ferrite. Like, we need some starting ferrite and carbon and stuff like that, just because it's used for building components that are used in basically all the recipes. So, like, you generally need to gather iron and ferrite. Let's see, there's some carbon, or condensed carbon is probably what this is. Okay, cool. We got the distress beacon. That's awesome. I'm just going to pick up this condensed carbon because we can use that to power our multi-tool, and once we get the recipe, power portable refiner and refine it back into carbon if we need carbon instead. All we have to do to get carbon is mine like a couple of these trees, and we'll probably get a couple hundred, so it does not take long. The ferrite can take a bit longer, depending on the size of the rocks around you, so just bear that in mind. I don't know why I'm doing it this way. If I push down on the controller, I can click up and recharge stuff this way, so we'll do that. I don't have any more sodium. Okay, let's scan and see if we can find some more sodium. None nearby, unfortunately, so we will just run over this direction and try to get this signal, because that should be our starter ship, which if we hop inside of that ship, it'll give us thermal protection, and it'll restore our thermal protection if it's fully, like, depleted, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, not too bad. Ultimately, we're going to upgrade all these tools so they'll become a little bit better. So like one of the prioritizations I'm going to make on getting upgrades is going to be, I want some S-class movement upgrades as soon as possible, because it just makes traversing the map so much easier if you have a high-powered jetpack and the neural stim and stuff like that. So we are taking cold damage. Our scanner's still recharging. I don't... Okay, so there isn't a ship here. Oh, there is a ship here. Cool. There's also oxygen here, so we can heal ourselves. Let's see, can I just hop in this real quick? Yes, I can. Okay, cool. So this may skip part of the mission. Hopefully that doesn't break the game. It probably won't, but I mainly need this to recharge our cold protection, because dang, we are just getting roasted by that. And I don't necessarily want to die from cold damage right out the gate. It's kind of scrub lord if that happens, so no worries if it happens to you. It's not a big deal if you're playing normal survival mode, because you can always go back and pick up your backpack or what have you. If you're playing permadeath, however, and you die, you end up having your save file deleted, so you lose the game. So yeah, just bear that in mind. We are going to go to this distress beacon because it probably has a recipe for us. Cool. And then we're also going to grab these boxes. So on the containers, I always take the rusted metal because that can be refined into ferrite dust. at a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning you get 2 ferrite for each one of those you pick up. The biscuit or facium is not bad. We'll pick it up for now because we have nothing, so we can at least sell it for a few thousand credits, is the idea. Hop in our ship, and we need to fix stuff. So the launch thruster is the first one I kind of want to prioritize, so we need 50 pure ferrite, and we need a dihydrogen jelly. So we need dihydrogen and pure ferrite. So this is just dihydrogen crystals, easy enough. Photon cannon module, we'll just move this over. We're probably not going to use that, honestly. It's better to sell this for the nanites, I feel. And then I can potentially buy an S-tier photon cannon upgrade if that's the weapon I want to use on this ship. Ultimately, this is going to get swapped out pretty quickly, but not a big deal. This just gives us copper condensed carbon. That's not worth it at this point. Okay. Let's just sit for a minute so our hazard protection can recharge. We can use our scanner in here, however. It's not going to highlight the plans. There is some sodium to our right, so we'll go pick that up first. I guess we can upgrade our life support. Or not upgrade, but... So the pulse drive just needs metal plates and a hermetic seal. Okay, easy enough. So to craft, you push the A button on controller if you're using Xbox layout. Metal plating, pulse engine, metal plate. Repaired. Then we need a hermetic seal, which we don't have the recipe for, but we will be directed to where to get one. So there we go. It's located in an area where we can pick up that hermetic seal. Can we build a portable refiner yet? Is that a thing? Let's see. Yes, it is. We need a metal plating. So let's build that plating. Because then we can get the pure ferrite we're going to need. So throw this in. Put in. We'll just use condensed carbon for now. Because we have a decent amount. We'll go ahead and start with that. We'll get 75 pure ferrite. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. So pure ferrite is relatively quick to get. Magnetized ferrite takes a bit longer because the ratio is 2-to-1. This is just cobalt. So we could mine some cobalt because we're going to ultimately use that to make us money. So let's go ahead and do that while we're waiting. The refiner is going to go anyway, so not a big deal. This will just save us a little bit of overhead cost on our credits because I didn't pay attention. I don't think, yeah, we have no credits or no units at this point. So we can't even, like, we can sell the stuff in our bag that's just random, so like the rust and that kind of stuff, and get a few thousand. But that'll only give us a few cobalt, and we're ultimately going to try to build up like 9 stacks of cobalt, which is 9,000 in total. And there's a method to the madness on how to do this quickly, and I'm going to demonstrate how to do that because that's kind of like step one is find a way to get a bunch of units. That way you can afford whatever ship you want to purchase. You can afford the multi-tools that you find that you want. You can afford upgrades and all the random like materials and components and stuff that you may need. You can just buy them because you have the units available to you, right? Whereas if you don't have units available to you, it's a little bit more challenging because you either have to go gather the resource or find a mission that gives it to you or whatever. So there are options. There's alternative ways to play. This is just how I am choosing to do it on this playthrough. Let me know down in the comments section below what your favorite way to get started in No Man's Sky survival mode is. I would love to hear about it, and I'm sure everyone that's watching the video would as well. So drop that down below in the comment section. Be sure to hit the subscribe button while you're down there if you have not subscribed to the channel already. That way you get notified when new videos come out. Like I said at the start, we are going to put some of this progression or series over on Twitch as well in a live stream format. So if you want to catch all the content, be sure that you follow me over on Twitch as well. It's just twitch.tv/LoneDebater7. So not a big deal, easy enough to find. But yeah, if you want some content, that's where to go. Anyway, we need to find ferrite is what we need to go find. Getting that cobalt, we got a few hundred, I think. That We can either sell directly for credits if we so desire, or we can save it until we get some salvage technology modules in the medium refiners and use it to make more cobalt, is basically what we're going to maybe do. I haven't decided yet. It depends on if we need like 1,000 credits to buy something or whatever, then we might sell some. But generally speaking, you can sell like the rust and other random stuff you come across or gather while progressing through to the vendors to get the few thousand credits you need starting out. So we got given a dihydrogen jelly, which is actually one of the crafting requirements, so that is pretty tasty for us. Here are some rocks with some ferrite inside. There's no carbon around, which is unfortunate. Or actually, that's a plant, so that had some carbon in it. 4 carbon, woo. That's so much. Not really, though. That's like nothing. Almost not even worth pulling the trigger on the mining laser for that, but whatever. It's fine. We can either convert some of the condensed carbon that we have back into the carbon, just normal carbon. So what I'm doing with my laser here is I'm pulsing it when it gets up to full heat. So like I run it up to full heat, and then right as it's reaching the top of that bar, so if you see in the upper right, there's that little progress bar. The longer you hold down the fire button on your multi-tools mining laser, that'll keep increasing, right, in heat, is what that's in reference to. So when it gets right up to the top there and starts turning red, I go and I release the trigger like for just a second and then re-pull it down, because the higher heat you have on your multi-tool, the faster it will mine materials. So let's hop back into our starship. Let's fix some stuff. So the pulse engine needs that hermetic seal, but we should be able to get the launch thruster up. Got that done. We got that done. Cool. So now the launch thruster comes with some fuel in it, which is useful. That's useful. So we don't have to make that. We do need some dihydrogen. So we got a few hundred cobalt. That's not bad. Okay, cool. Condensed carbon, I'm going to put down here with our carbon, and I'm going to stack our ferrite right above it, because these two are the two items that I generally end up having to. Ferrite, maybe not, but like carbon, you can't really find anywhere else. Dihydrogen, same thing. Oxygen, you can buy. All the rest of the stuff you can kind of buy from various trading posts. So not as critical to keep stacks of those in your inventory. However, having them available means you can craft stuff without needing to fly somewhere. But we're going to go ahead and refine this rust real quick. That'll give us another 250 ferrite dust, which is great. I believe that's a full base cargo stack. Or full, ooh, that's a lot of oxygen right there. We're going to harvest that up. Oxygen's super valuable, because what you can do with oxygen, right? If you now you need a medium refiner for 2-slot input. Get wisdom stone, get a Korvax sword, cool. So we're in a Korvax starting system, good to know. Which I think I probably could have figured out just by opening up the discovery tab, or it may have told us when we first logged it in, I don't remember, because I wasn't really paying attention to that, because it doesn't necessarily matter at this point in the game. But yeah, no worries, we're going to gather up all this oxygen. If you put oxygen and cobalt in a medium refiner, it will give you ionized cobalt. Using 1 of the cobalt, 2 of the oxygen, you get 5 ionized cobalt, I believe is the ratio, if I'm remembering correctly. But let's go ahead and hop in our ship, and I'm going to show you a little trick on how to gather carbon and ferrite and such really quickly. Okay, sure. But basically, do you need pulse engine in order to take off? Lame. Can I create a hermetic seal even? Why not? Launch thrusters. Okay, we'll hop out for a moment. We need to wait for this anyway. And what I do is I use one slot in my suit to hold my refiner. Um, I feel that makes a fair amount of sense just because you can put it back down, like you can pick up the refiner and put it back down. So then you don't have to carry the metal plating and build a new one every single time you need to do something. But let's pop our scanner real quick and see there's some hydrogen, which is exactly what I'm looking for, because I want to gather up some dihydrogen. You can refine tritium into dihydrogen, and I think you get 2 dihydrogen per tritium if I'm not mistaken. I prefer to save the tritium, however, mainly because you need a lot of it for the freighter fuel in addition to dihydrogen, and there's not necessarily an easy way to gather tritium outside of mining like asteroids out in between the planets and the space station and stuff. But yeah, dihydrogen, you kind of need to just find these crystals on the ground. There are giant crystals as well that you'll come across every once in a while. It just depends. How far is that? Oh, that's only 1,000. That's not too bad. How far did this get? Pretty close. Or it's almost done. Oh, there's actually enough rusted metal to make more than a full stack of ferrite. Okay. That's fine. You know what? We'll go ahead and do it. I know this is kind of boring. We're just making ferrite, but it is something that you're going to want to do starting out because you need ferrite for all the various recipes. So doing it this way kind of can get good stuff. I'm just trying to take this dude out because if I can, yeah, we get some mordite, but that leg meat is what I'm actually after because that stuff sells for a few thousand per item. So if you want to bank some cash really quickly, go and farm some of the creatures on the planet, and you can sell these. So like if I look at the stack of leg meat here, it's 1,400 for each one of these. Now I believe the stack is 50 on these, and you get about 8 per creature. So if you find a herd of like 20 or 30 of them, that's quite a bit of credits for like no work, because especially if you have a weapon on your multi-tool instead of using the mining beam, you'll take them down in like one shot. So yeah, not a big deal. That's lame you can't take off without the pulse engine. I thought you could. We could build a battery. These are used to recharge your suit. So I'm actually going to build a couple of these and put them in our suit. And we'll have that take a slot. Microprocessors are good to have. We're also going to get wiring frames ultimately, but I'm just kind of organizing as I go. So this stuff can stay up there. I am going to move our tech into the technology slot, or tech slots. At least for some of it. We'll leave the jetpack. Or actually, starting out, since we have no slots, or upgrades, we'll go ahead and move it like this for now. As we unlock more slots, which does happen naturally throughout the progression of the game, we'll fill those in. But now our bag is kind of taking shape. Mordite's not all that useful. If you get pugnium, you can choose to hold on to that instead of selling it, because you can refine pugnium at a 25-to-1 ratio into nanites, which doesn't sound like a lot because it's not really all that much, but yeah, every little bit helps. Like if you have thousands of pugnium, you can get, a lot of, or you can get some nanites out of it, right? So that can be useful. I think I am going to put the dihydrogen on our ship. Ionized cobalt, I'm going to leave in our suit for now. Swap those around. Portable refiner is going to stay down here because that's definitely going to stay in the suit. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get over here. It's right over here, so I don't have a terrain manipulator, otherwise I would take that cave. Oh, we need to charge our life support. So if you walk into a ledge like that, your jetpack will have infinite fuel if you're right up against it. I must not have been right up against it, and that's why it cost me fuel to fly up there. No worries, though. Here's some more dihydrogen. I am just going to gather this on the way over. Because we need it. It is a need at this point. Because this is what you make launch fuel out of. And once we have a bunch of money, we can just spend credits and buy launch fuel. But we don't have a lot of money yet. So we're going to have to make the launch fuel ourselves. Which is fine. It's relatively easy and inexpensive to make. But you still have to do it. And it takes time. And it takes up inventory space. Or you need 2 inventory slots in order to make it. Right? Plus the slot to contain the new item. So it requires 3 inventory slots in order to make the item, whereas just holding the item only takes 1. So like if you buy it, it only takes 1 slot. I'm just gathering some carbon, mainly because I need it to recharge my multi-tool relatively soon. And we're getting a decent amount out of those trees. Not a whole lot, but it's enough. There's some sodium up here. Oh, whoops. Did not mean to do that to ourselves. So be careful with the jetpack. Oh shit, I killed ourselves. Well, that's no good. Lol, I guess. I'm assuming it'll probably spawn us by the spaceship, because that's where our autosave would be. Yeah, that looks to be about right. Yeah, we lose everything. I think you can pick it up at your grave, though. But I think we have whatever was in our ship, so that's good, I guess. Oh yeah, we got a new title, Lone Debater 7, the Reckless. Damn right we're reckless. We jetpacked ourselves to death. That's literally what happened to us. That's okay. I must see. Our grave may be up here. I'm thinking that it will be, if I'm honest. Like if I scan, I don't see a marker. Oh, we're out of. There we go. I was gonna say, how are we out of sprint? Here's some sodium because we're gonna need that. Gather some dihydrogen, I guess. Whatever. Don't matter. We'll be fine. We do need oxygen, however, since we were carrying all that in our bag like a scrub. And I don't know where our... So the key is to kind of like do a little jetpack pulse at the end, like when you're close to the ground, to slow you down so you don't take all the fall damage. And it's kind of like the more you do it, the easier it is, and the more movement modules you have, the easier it is to pull off the landing and such. But yeah, no worries. We do need oxygen. Scanner's still recharging. Hopefully this is like a outpost with like a building in it. Because I think your life support system going down will kill you. I mean, it would make sense if that was... hazardous for... there's some oxygen. There we go. All right. So, I mean, survival is a lot more tense than normal mode, because I think in normal mode you don't need the pulse engine fixed on the ship in order to take off. I think it will take off just for launch thrusters. Or maybe the, like, weather damage and that life support system damage, that kind of stuff, isn't as taxing. Is kind of where survival gets its challenge from. But I believe if we stand inside here, yeah. That means we're not going to lose um, hazard protection charge. And I believe that also means we're not going to take life support charge. But there we go. This is the visor. And it gave me a hermetic seal. Cool. Or it gave me the recipe for a hermetic seal. We'll take a look. We'll learn the word, might as well. It's worth learning the words. That's one of the ways to increase your standing with the various factions. Let's take a look. Yeah. I wanted to look at this. So it just gave us a hermetic seal. And it taught us how to craft them. Okay, cool. I like keeping navigation and drop pod data in my cargo slot. That's just me. Okay. Oh. I can build that. I just haven't yet. Carbon nanotubes. I need some ferrite for that. There's some cobalt right there. All right. Oh, this takes carbon, duh. But look at this. There's a plant right here. So generally speaking, the plants will have carbon and maybe another material, and the rocks will have ferrite and maybe another material. Or there'll be pure ferrite on the rocks. That happens sometimes too. If I can get in this door, there's usually stuff in both rooms, so this would be another navigation. Oh, nanites. Okay, cool. That works. We'll take 13 nanites. Let's build our nanotubes. Then that's in our multi-tool. We can go ahead and fix this or finish crafting it. And now we got the analysis visor, which is this guy right here. So if we point it at like a rock and then pull the trigger, this will scan whatever you're looking at and discover it for you. So it'll tell you, so like if it's a resource, it'll tell you what materials you get from harvesting it. If it's a plant, so like rocks or inorganic stuff always gives you 200. Plants and creatures, however, can give you a variety of different amounts depending on how many scanner upgrades you have installed. Obviously, the more S-tier scanning upgrades you have installed, the more credits you get for each scan. So let's go ahead. We got to locate our ship. Just up right over there. Oh, whoops. Remove that. I can't get those berry technology modules yet, but we are going to farm some of those before we leave. I need the terrain manipulator first, though. So it's fine. This is still like the tutorial missions, basically. So this little walkthrough gives you those, like the starting recipes and the starting equipment you need in order to travel around. So it takes a little bit of time, you know, just because you got to gather the base materials and not die like me, so you can complete the missions, and you know, start experiencing more of the freedom of the game, because this is very much open world game. So like, you choose what you want to do, how you want to play, and then play that way, you know. So it's pretty good. It's a lot of fun. If you like space adventure type games, this may be the one for you. But like, you can scan the creatures as well, and it is worth scanning stuff on the planets. If you get all of the stuff on the planet, so all the inorganic and organic stuff, meaning the creatures and plant life, for a planet, you get bonus nanites for it. So you can upload individual discoveries like this and get some nanites, but you can get more nanites if you upload discoveries for all of if you get all of them, right? So it's worth taking the time to try to find all of them if you're going to be on a planet for a while. And even if you're not, it's worth doing. I should have mined some of that cobalt, is what I should have done. Okay. Yeah, we're probably gonna die. God, this planet is taxing. We're so slow. If we didn't die before and lose all of our materials, we'd be fine right now. Because I had batteries crafted when I left the starship initially. I thought we were going to be able to find our grave, but apparently not. Maybe we can now that we have the visor, though. However, I can't die here. Yep, well, we could see the ship, but not actually make it there because it's too cold. That's okay. So we're up to 2 deaths on the first episode. What a scrub. Nah, survival's just a bit more challenging. We do have the analysis visor now, so that's good at least. Let's see. We lost our hermetic seal. At least we got given the recipe, so we need condensed carbon. So we need to gather some stuff. I'm just going to hop inside of here for a minute. Recharge our hazard protection. Then we're going to hop out. We're going to do a quick little scanny boy. And see... So there's hydrogen. There's carbon over here. So let's get some carbon, some ferrite. We'll get some dihydrogen as well, since we lost all the stuff we were carrying, I'm assuming. Right? Cargo drop. Okay, yeah. I didn't see, like, a grave marker. Maybe there is one. I don't actually know. We'll look. But I'm guessing that there are no graves in survival mode. So you lose whatever you're carrying. So upgrading our ship is going to be a pretty big priority, just because you don't lose what's in your ship. Whereas you do lose what's in your suit if you die. Granted, we're not going to die all that often once we get some, technology upgrades and stuff like that inside of our suit and have enough materials to actually supply ourselves with sodium and oxygen or dioxide or whatever. You can use dioxide in place of oxygen, just like you can use sodium nitrate for an ion battery instead of the sodium, but it's still good to have the base metal. You use it generally in the crafting recipes anyway. I think I can build ion batteries with cobalt and ferrite, however, which that fully restores your hazard protection. One ion battery does. So if that's the case, and it doesn't actually take sodium, we might be able to get around not having any sodium plants nearby since there's a cave here instead. What would make more sense is to actually go stand inside of this while we're mining. And the reason for that is, so see how our temperature levels just stabilized right there? That's because we're we're protected via the terrain. So now we won't have to worry about recharging our hazard protection module or getting exposed to cold or extreme temperatures or whatever. So that's good. I'll take it. So we're getting some good stuff. We're about to run out of charge on a mining beam. Let's go ahead and charge that. This will charge with dioxide. Oh, I am honestly out of carbon. Okay. We need to find a plant. Generally, there are plants inside of those caves. Guess not this time. There's some up here. Okay. Uh, there we go. Go ahead and mine up some carbon. We need carbon anyway. We need condensed carbon to make the hermetic seal. So we'll go ahead and mine up a few of these trees. Gather a few hundred carbon. I think we need ferrite dust as well because we need to build a metal plate in order to create a portable refiner again. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, when I'm done with the portable refiner, I'm going to put it in my starship instead. Because ultimately you can get a suit refiner. It just costs it's a technology slot or whatever. But that'll be worth it, I think. Because then if we die, we don't have to build another one, right? So we won't have to prioritize getting ferrite again. Just specifically for that. Like we can just refine things for other goals instead. Like how we need, like if we had condensed carbon right now, we'd be able to fly the ship. Or if we didn't die and had that hermetic seal. But let's go ahead and get down here. This has a beacon on it. Let's go ahead and talk to him. Oh, okay, cool. He gave it back to me. That's nice of him. Thank you, friend. I'm glad I didn't have to make that, even though I want to gather all this stuff. Boom. We got our first ship. Look at us. Woo woo. First ship. That's what we're after. Let's go ahead and break these bad mamas up. This we're going to put in the ship. We're going to move dihydrogen. And using Y, you can just transfer it. This we'll put in the ship. The rest of this stuff, though, I think we're going to keep on us. Like, it'd be nice to have some carbon in the ship, I guess, because that recharges things. The rest, however, we will just carry. Let's see, can we build some ion batteries? We sure can. Cool. Can I make life support gels? They take a dihydrogen. Okay. 3 of them. 3. Okay, so now we have stuff to fully recharge our life support and hazard protection with a single item. So, awesome. We are now set. Let's go ahead and do this. I don't have a portable refiner to pick up. And I need oxygen for it. Lol. There is no oxygen nearby because I've harvested all of it. We can fly anyway, though. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to just take off. And kind of fly around. But yeah, we got our first starship unlocked. Now, me personally, I think it's under Utilities, Starship View. I like the third-person view on the Starship. I think it's a little bit easier to navigate with, and yeah. But basically what we can do now, in addition to look for outposts just from the sky, you can scan the ground if you're close enough and look for sodium and oxygen plants and start picking those up. Now for me, I'm going to look for an area that has some sodium, some oxygen, some condensed carbon, and some dihydrogen all right near each other. That's what I'm looking for because I need all of those resources and it's easier to gather them like for your starting, if you're just starting, easier to gather all that stuff on the ground before you take off, right? So like, there's some oxygen near here, there's sodium down there, there's also a cave, which we may be able to gather up a little bit more cobalt for us. Oh, there's a sentinel right there. That's not ideal, really. Hydrogen up over here. Oh. Didn't realize that was depleted. Give me that dihydrogen, please. Because we're going to have to make launch fuel. I'm also going to gather up these couple ferrite rocks that are here with the dihydrogen because we need to make metal plates. It's worth turning the dihydrogen into launch fuel because, yeah, one launch fuel fully recharges your launch thruster, so you need a few different things in order to build it, but each launch fuel goes a long way. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's see. What else is around here? That's our ship. Yeah. Nope. Okay, I guess those are all scanned. That's fine. Okay, whatever. I'll take it. There is a creature over there, and these might be the same, actually. Those two are, and then there's one more. So cool. Get our units, get our nanites once we upload it, which we'll do once we leave the planet. Like, I generally do that later. It's not a big deal. I let it build up because you don't get a whole lot of nanites. You get some, though, so it is worth uploading. Sodium. There's sodium and hydrogen down here. And there will be cobalt in that cave. But let's go ahead and mine up this dihydrogen before we drop in there. And I am going to gather up some more cobalt. And I think we'll probably wrap up the episode here since we did get the ship off the ground. So yeah, first episode, we got our first ship all airborne and fixed up. What we're going to do in the next one is we're going to work on getting kind of kitted out so we can actually start exploring the galaxy with a little bit more ease. So we've got our life support gels and our ion batteries. So I would suggest making both of those items as they will fully recharge the respective life support system and hazard protection module with a single item. So it's way more efficient than using like the oxygen or sodium to recharge the equipment outright because it doesn't cost either of those resources. So like you can do it without using the required recharge resource in some instances. We'll go ahead and analyze this. This one we can't harvest, though, without the advanced mining laser, but that has pure ferrite and salt. So that's decent, I guess. At least we know if we find the special rocks under the ground, they could have salt or pure ferrite, both of which are useful. But I'm just going to gather a touch of cobalt because this can be used to generate us some money so we can buy the other resources we may need for crafting recipes and stuff like that. Basically, what you want to do in the early game is get all of the quests done initially, so like the tutorial quests that they're taking us on. We want to do all of that until we get off the planet, get to the first space station, and get to the point where we can go to the anomaly. Once we get the anomaly unlocked, we want to have like roughly 30 salvage technology module on us, and then we can buy most of the base stuff we need in order to start making the type of cash that you need in order to basically buy everything in the game. So like you can just explore at your whim at that point, as opposed to having to focus on gathering specific materials to survive or progress. You can just buy them, so it's a little easier. So that's kind of the goal. We gathered some gold, some silver, some geodes, blue, but mostly cobalt. We got a frost crystal and some marrow gold. Awesome. A lot of good stuff. We'll mine this one too. We want this one. It's right at the front. I'm surprised we missed it, but we did. Lol. Okay, here we go. I was looking for oxygen is what I was looking for. Because we need oxygen for dihydrogen jelly, I believe. Now this is dihydrogen. So I'm just going to mine this while this sentinel gets pissed. Okay. And now we are going to hop in this. Oh, there's no fuel. Shoot. There we go. And we'll just take off in the ship and fly around while we do what we actually want to do here. So we're going to build 5 of those, and then we're going to try to build 5 launch fuels. We can only afford 2 at the moment. That's fine. We'll keep the extra metal plating on the ship. Let's go into our exosuit. And I want to move this to our starship. I want to move this to our starship. Chlorine can stay. Gold can go to starship. Sodium will stay. Oxygen will stay. And the rest of this stuff is basically going to get sold is kind of the concept. Except for the oxygen, maybe. Okay, I think it's just waiting for us to go up into space. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll go to the space station. And when we get out of the ship at the space station, we're going to end the episode there. And then in the next one, we'll pick up kind of what to do when you get to the first space station. As it's kind of the same, like when you go to the space station, you're going to do the same few things every single time for each system you visit. So one thing I would suggest is go over to these asteroids and shoot them with your lasers, because you'll get gold, platinum, and silver out of them, as well as tritium. So this is a great way to get some starting resources. If you need some starting credits as well, you can sell the gold, silver, platinum, or tritium that you gather doing this for, a few thousand. Like, it's not the most expensive items in the game, but it's a decent amount, and you can gather it relatively quickly. So, like, we've basically filled our inventory, and it goes straight to your ship inventory. So bear that in mind. You do need 3 slots in your ship inventory in order for that to work, but not a big deal. Yeah, anyway. So, alright, let's go ahead. Wants us to boost, so we'll boost. But these, like, round-looking dudes are generally either gold or platinum or silver. So, like, they'll be I think these are the silver ones, the purplish colored or silver. The greenish ones are platinum, and then the yellow or goldish colored ones are gold. So if you're looking for a specific resource, if you fly around the planets and there's an asteroid field there, look for these roundish looking dudes, and you may be able to gather some sweet stacks of resource. Okay, it wants us to analyze that. Done. Which basically, the hyperclusters that you get in the nuggets, they just break down into more of the resource for you, and that's about it. I don't really want to zoom anywhere necessarily. I am going to scan these planets, though. Even if I don't end up going there, I believe this will be stored for me, so I can pick from them later if I happen to want to build a base. So like that one has copper, rusted metal, and cobalt. So that actually isn't a terrible resource variety for a starting base. So we might actually go over there and see. So we'll identify ourselves. Doesn't necessarily matter if you want to see all the like stuff in slow motion, either pause the video or play it yourself. Now that's a dead planet, which should be honestly kind of good for a starter base because there shouldn't be sentinels there or animals that will attack us or anything. So the pirates that are near us found valuable stuff near us. So we're going to have to fight some pirates real quick. Because we're a baller and have ionized cobalt. I mean, this is kind of stressful because all we really have is photon cannons, but you can still slap with just basic photon cannons. Basically, what I do is like air brake to turn and get an angle on the dudes. You can also recharge your Starship's shield with ion battery, I believe. So we should be fine either way. Also, if you pick up the drops from the ships you defeat, you'll recharge your shields. Okay, we beat them. Cool. We did get some chromatic metal and some lemium. Now the chromatic metal will keep, the lemium will probably sell. Just because it'll be worth, maybe 10,000, 15,000 each. Just a bit better. So we'll go down here, approach the signal, and land. So there's probably a structure nearby. So let's kind of look for that. I see condensed carbon crystals. It's probably right down here is what they're wanting us to find. But we're going to fly down here anyway, because if this isn't what they want us to find, we can still chart this sector. There's some sodium around. There's condensed carbon around. There's oxygen. So cool. Damaged or broken technology. This is actually exactly what they wanted us to find. Decipher the signal. Boom. See, I thought that we were going to go to the space station. We actually didn't. We came down here instead. This is for base computer to build a base, and we got a terrain manipulator, so cool. We got the stuff we need to actually gather the ground-based deposits, but also so we can get the salvage technology modules. Those are buried underground usually. So once we build the terrain manipulator, we can access those and get the few that we're going to need to unlock the base blueprints we want. Sorry about that. Let's see. How much does this cost? Nanotubes, 2, and a dihydrogen jelly. That actually is pretty cheap. Let's build it real quick. We can't quite do this because dihydrogen is missing. We get I think we have dihydrogen in the ship. Or actually, we probably don't because we get all the buildy stuff earlier. Let's fly up here. I think there's some crates. Because sometimes you'll get dihydrogens out of these. In addition to other valuable loot. So like it's worth coming and opening these if you know that they are there. When you're starting out, once you've kind of progressed a bit more, maybe it's not as critical. Sodium, condensed carbon. That's a lot of oxygen up there. So that might be worth going and harvesting. Let's get this condensed carbon though. Saves you time on the refining if you just harvest the condensed carbon outright, as opposed to trying to refine carbon crystals into it. So we can't do that one. That's okay. Let me grab this little bit of oxygen. Because we're going to use oxygen with the cobalt and ionized cobalt that we have in order to duplicate it, is kind of what the process is going to be. And that's how I plan on making our initial stack of cobalt that we'll use in order to do flipping. So we'll use support gel, and we'll wait on the hazard protection a bit longer. Because you get a full charge regardless of what percent the module's at, if you use a battery or a gel. So it's most efficient to wait until the thing is basically decharged. Let's go ahead and scan real quick. Where's the big chunk? It's probably right up here. You can also kill this hazardous plant on the way. Sorry, friendo. I really need dihydrogen, though. See how much we get here. maybe a couple hundred, hopefully. Okay, getting it done. Yeah, when you find these giant fields of oxygen or sodium, especially early on, it's awesome because, like, look at this. We got over 600 oxygen from that group of plants. There's also a sodium stash right here. I am going to harvest this tree first, just so it's out of the way and we can easier just kind of walk around and harvest all of these. But this will probably give us close to 600 sodium as well, which is a great, like, little bank of starting material from the plants, because these, they give you like a big chunk each time, so like it's faster than mining a sodium deposit would be usually. I guess it depends on the deposit, but ultimately once we have credits we'll just buy sodium if we need it, as opposed to worrying about harvesting it at all. But since we have no credits, we're going to harvest some sodium because it's used in crafting recipes. You can use it to recharge stuff. So yeah, good to have some sodium on you. There we go. Awesome. Where's that dihydrogen at, though? Well, let's just go back. Oh, right in front of us. Lol. Open your eyes. You'll see it, I promise. You're standing on it. Can't you feel these jagged hydrogen spikes in your feet? Nah. I can't. Inventory full, eh? Wow. Impressive. Let's go ahead and use the nanotubes on this because we don't need those in our bag. Oh, whoops. Didn't realize that was so low. Okay, cool. So we got that stuff done. Grab some carbon. Please and thank you. And let's get back to the ship and craft what we need to craft. So we should be able to make the dihydrogen jelly. Yep. The terrain manipulator built. Cool. Now this tool runs on iron dust or ferrite dust. So that's what it powers on that instead of copper. So gather, or as opposed to carbon. So we need to gather copper, cobalt, copper deposit right there. And we're going to fly there with our ship. It's a bit easier, a bit faster. And try not to land directly on top of it or else it'll impact your ability to mine it. So like this is close enough that we can get back to our ship relatively quickly after mining it. So we shouldn't have to use a recharge on our suit battery or whatever. Now there is a sentinel right here which kind of sucks. Hopefully it won't mind. If he does, hopefully we get the 60 that we need for the mission. So that, the free slots is for silica powder, which you can use to power the terrain manipulator. I don't have a slot for it, it's fine. I don't really need it. I power mine with ferrite dust. It costs the same as the silicate powder, and the silicate powder can be refined to ferrite dust. It's just, yeah, I'd rather not have an extra slot of something that's not used for anything else. Okay, there we go. 225, the Sentinel didn't actually care. I do need more ferrite, apparently. Okay. Yeah, we are full of stuff for sure, Z. Let's do this. So, cargoes are full. I can move that to the starship? No, I cannot. Starship's full too. Shoot. How to manage this? Do I have any silver or gold in my bag? No. But I don't need this single marrow bulb. I don't need these frost crystals. Salt I want to keep. We'll get rid of this metal for now. We'll get rid of the sulfurine. Keep the rest. Okay. What do I need? Process. I need a refiner. So make chromatic metal is what they're wanting us to do. So put it in copper, it'll be a 2-to-1 ratio into chromatic metal. If you find activated copper, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So activated copper is better if you're trying to make chromatic metal than normal copper. We'll gather some carbon, I guess, while we're waiting. There's some sodium guys right here. Might as well pick them up. There's also some dihydrogen. Juicy, juicy. So upgrading our suit capacity would be another thing to try to prioritize, just because we're already full and we have like nothing in our bag really, except for just like materials used to survive. So yeah, we're gonna try to get. Well, when you go to the space station, we'll be able to get one. We just haven't gotten that far in the quest chain. And I didn't see the space station icon when we left the planet the first time. I'm assuming that's because of the mission or whatever. Okay, cool. How's that doing? Cool. I got a spot for that. I do. Great. Whoops. We'll put it up here. There we go. Then, do I want to refine anything else while we're here? I could do more rusted metal. That takes a while, though. Let's go ahead and just convert this salt into chlorine. It won't take that long. Outside of that, I don't think we need anything else. So let's just pick this up and go. Okay, so it wants us to build a base computer. Let's go ahead and build one. Doesn't matter. We can use this base later if we so desire. Basically, this will start processing archives to give us some free construction materials. If you wait for all of the archives to get processed all the way, which basically you get like 15 or so % every hour and a half of real time that passes, you'll get a new blueprint for your base. So that it takes a while to get all the plans. But there we go. We got our first set of plans. All the timber stuff, construct a base. So it wants us to build a base. Real, like, just a base wood hut. So we'll do that. Once you put down a 4, you get snap points. Oh, I don't have the pure ferrite for that. Fine. Recharge our suit. Come on, snap please. Okay, forget it. I don't understand. Like, it was doing automatic snapping a minute ago. I'm just assuming that this is gonna work. Probably won't though. God, that's stupid. Why do I have to build a fucking door? I don't want a door. Like I don't want this right now. I'd rather build the base later when I want to build a base, you know? Drop it, refine this. I think we only need like 10. Or 25 or something like that, so we'll grab that. Build their stupid fucking door. There we go. Okay. Okay, give me my stuff, please. Where's my ship at? Stupid storm. Okay. So we need to refuel the thrusters. Cool. Okay. Okay, we need magnetized ferrite. Which is made by refining pure ferrite. I'm just mining some ferrite real quick. Really what I can do. Speed this up a little bit. Oh, I need ship inventory slots. So what you do is you take your ship, you fly close to the ground, and just shoot. You'll break a bunch of rocks and get some ferrite. And carbon. Okay, we have a few hundred. That should be enough. And we can break those walls and stuff later when we want to come back and build a real base. So not a big deal. Because, yeah, we need nanotubes as well. We'll just take this, because that almost gives us enough. Okay, I literally need, like, 3. But this is kind of the start of the game. So this is intended to walk you through some of the basic processes. So like learning how to gather different materials, learning how to refine them, and things like that. It's all useful if it's your first time playing. I just have played before, so it's a little frustrating. But there you go, construction research station. So what you use here, you can research buildable technologies. So it'll give you this little tech tree. Use salvage technology in order to unlock things. So pretty cool, pretty cool. It is limited on what it offers though, so it wants us to find buried technology, which there's one right there. Go over there. I tagged it just so I can see it. We'll take the ship just because it's cold AF over here. And what you do is you go over to these. And this is what we're going to ultimately collect, like 30 total of these little modules, because that will afford us all the equipment we need to make actual money in the game and do the duplication process required in order to get started equipping. We do need to free up inventory, so get rid of this. So salvage technology data, that's what we're after. There is room on that. I don't know, whatever, it's fine. So let's look for another one, and we'll farm that. So I think we're just going to wrap up the episode here for today, guys. I'm going to go ahead and find some salvage technology data and stuff like that in between this episode and the next one. And then next time we'll finish off this mission and kind of get on with the progression of the series. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to leave a like on the video and drop a comment down below. It really helps me keep going and making more content. If, in addition, I'd love to hear down in the comments what your experience with No Man's Sky has been, because I always find it interesting to see what other players are doing or what they're having fun with, because it may give me ideas or what have you, or something new to try out myself. So anyway, guys, with that being said, it's been a lot of fun recording today. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I sure have. But until next time, this has been Lone Debater 7, and we will see ya.